Hello, hello, hello. I feel like Norman No Mates tonight because I invited a few of the team on and nobody's come on. So it looks like you might just have me. But anyway, we'll wait and see what's happening. So if anybody's out there, welcome, and looking forward to connecting with you all this evening. And I'm just going to make sure I've got something switched off. Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's just see where we are. And thank goodness somebody has come to talk to me. Hello, Laurie.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong number. I'll call back.
Well, I was just saying, I feel like Norma No Mates because nobody's here. So I just sent the link again. But anyway, so hi, Brett. Hi, Ian. Hi, Karen. Lovely to see you. And I was thinking, if I've got nobody to talk to, who am I going to talk to? Oh dear. So it's getting ever closer, Laurie. The trip.
It is so exciting.
It is very exciting. And a couple of people have been asking me, what are you doing? Can we catch up with you? And I'm going, well, I don't think I've got any catch up time because I'm just too busy, which is rather lovely. And I'm not complaining. But you've got a whole heap of people on your lives and things, haven't you, at the moment? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gone. We lost him. And there he is back again.
Oh, I'm back.
What happened there? Oh dear. Don't do that to me. So yes, you've got all these wonderful people that are on your live that are coming in. You've got cars going by and the reflections going across your ceiling. That's quite pretty. It looks like rainbows going over your head. So tell us what you've got in store for Karen and I when we're there. I know you sent it to me the other day, but we'll just chat about it.
No, we're really looking forward to having both of you working here at Paul Church. I've rented you a very nice little flat near the quay so that you can be together.
Oh, we're not staying with you, are we?
Well,
hi, Bruno.
Hello.
One bathroom between three ladies. It might get a little bit tight.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. That's all good. So, yeah, and you've got workshops for us to do and readings, and you're getting your money's worth out of us. I actually looked at that and thought, talk about blood out of a stone. Yeah, exactly. Do we complain? No, we're not complaining.
No, we've got to make the most of when we get these wonderful demonstrators coming down here from Paul. We celebrate all your abilities. So you'll both be taking a workshop. You're taking a mediumship development workshop, and the lovely Karen is taking a psychic development workshop.
Yeah.
Now, I must admit, I do like people to work with the psychic so they can get that understanding of what is psychic and what is mediumship, because that's very sadly lacking.
Do you know, I think that is really important. And Brett's just said regarding the bathroom situation, don't you have a garden hose? Thank you, Brett. And the dates that we're with you is the 22nd, 3rd, and 4th, I think it is, isn't it?
It is. Spot
on. It is. Let me just double check. 22nd, 23rd, 24th. I was absolutely right. So
hang on. Hey, Bruno.
Hello.
Yeah, so Bruno. So I'm coming over and working with you as well, and really looking forward to that. And I'm extremely excited, Bruno, because it's the 1 year anniversary of you doing podcasts, which is amazing.
Yeah. So first of all,
I think.
So thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have been your first person on, wasn't
I? You were the first foreigner. But you were the second guest, so you were the first foreigner.
Oh,
and
the first foreigner.
And it was really interesting because what happened was, so I decided to create like a show or something called Descoberta, so it's like the spiritual journey. dedicated to our spiritual journey, where basically I was doing Instagram lives to meet people and to get to know their story. So you, Val, you went there for us to get to know more about you. And 1 year later, you are coming here to have 2 demonstrations. I already start to spread the word. Today will be the day that I will actually release your video. And people are already starting to, ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, that's interesting. So yeah, so that'll be good.
It was interesting because you asked me to do a video, and I happened to have my granddaughter with me that day, and I've got her in the living room saying, "Shh, be quiet! I've got to do this video." And it was man. Anyway, we managed to do it, which is really good. So Ty has come on and said hello, Val, Laurie, and Bruno. So is it my voice you like, Ty, or an accent, or is it Bruno's voice and accent? He says a lot can be said for somebody's voice, so it's nice. Ty is a new client of mine recently, but yes, you're right. So coming over to Portugal, 2 shows in one day, isn't it? And that's on the 11th, I believe. And
no, on 12th. You arrive on the 11th.
I arrive on the 11th.
And actually, it's like this: you are going to travel on the September 11th. I think that day should not be allowed to anyone to travel on the. But oh well, that's okay. and then basically on the following day, on the 12th, we have the hour meeting.
Yeah, which and 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock we're doing the show.
Exactly.
And Ian, who's on here tonight, is coming as my chaperone. At least I might have to chaperone him. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But we're looking forward to that. That'd be really great. So hopefully Karen and Jenny and Neil will come on. They did say that they were able to come on, so we will wait and see. So how do you think we'll go down in Portugal, Bruno? With the accent and the language and
there's a lot of people that of course speak English because, for example, so the Pope he was here and he left yesterday. The Pope, so you went outside and you spoke English because there'll be a lot of people around the world. And I believe that most of the people that speak English, it's okay. I'll be there as well to translate. So no worries. So the language barrier will not happen. Probably they'll be like, okay, so okay, no worries. But yeah, will be fun. Above all, will be fun because you have a good energy and you are a very funny person. So yes, I think that above all will be fun.
I think it'll be great, actually. So when I was doing the video, I thought, I've got to say goodbye in Portuguese. And I got it right. Adeus. I was so happy. Yeah. And I've spoken to a Portuguese friend, and I said to her that I'd said that, and she said, you pronounced it right as well, which is lovely. Yeah. She said most people.
Adeus.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all good, and I can't believe it's less than 4 weeks before I leave now. So
how do you feel?
A bit scared. Yeah, I haven't been to the UK for 4 years. Yeah. So and it's really weird because every time I open up my emails, I've got another booking. And it's just growing and growing and growing. And Jenny said to me yesterday, can you give us another date? We need another date. Oh, my goodness me. But it's all good. And yeah, super excited. Ian's excited as well. And it's funny because Brett, who's on here, runs a spiritualist church in Newtown in Sydney. And he is going to be in Portugal at the same time as us, and nice. London at the same time as us, which is very exciting. So yes, it'll be lots of parties, I reckon. So yes, and we're going to be consuming some of that alcohol that you've got there, Laurie.
I'll give you a hand.
Well, that's all right. You know, it's you were talking about psychic and mediumship just now, Laurie, and it's interesting because I was doing a show yesterday a church service yesterday with Brett, and then a demonstration of mediumship the day before. And I actually asked the audience, did they know the difference between a psychic and a medium? Yeah. And none of them did. So, And it's so simple, isn't it? I like to explain it very simply. How would you describe it, Laurie?
I have a little something that was popped into my head on the way to a service, and it's great. I love working with my psychic side. It's a very, very useful tool.
Yes.
People can stand there going blah blah blah, and I'm going, okay,
Yeah.
that's what you're saying, but anyway, in a demonstration, and I spoke to the spirit world about this, and I said, this is what I want to do. This is how I'd like to achieve it. So first up, I gave a message to somebody. Didn't say anything, just gave the message, and the person went, yes, yes, yes. I said, did you enjoy that message? Yes, I did. I said, where was the evidence in that message? I said, that was a psychic reading. And then I asked the spirit world to step in, and it was a mother, totally different energy. The lady had tears. I said, that is mediumship, because that's where we bring the present. And do you know what? That works. If you've got a competent medium that can work in both those fields, just to show people, because not only that lady felt the presence of her mother, the atmosphere in the room actually changed as well. And people really got, I like simple things, because simple.
You're a man after my heart.
So demonstrating the difference between the two, because sadly here in the UK and much of Europe as well, the difference between psychism and mediumship isn't understood, because it's not being taught. It's not, psychism used to be a filthy word in our movement.
I remember, sorry to interrupt, but I remember years ago when my show. I remember years ago when I was doing mediumship at West Wickham Church, and I got absolutely hauled over the coals for the fact that they said I'd done a psychic demonstration, and I hadn't. But they just said that I'd done psychic, and I had been taught just to do mediumship, and there was no way that I'd done any psychic. But now I like you, I believe that there is a place for it, and it is really important. But you're so right. I teach my students that if you're connected to spirit properly and purely, you feel it. You get those emotions and the goosebumps, and I think that is extremely important. But a lot of people come to you for a reading because they want to know, am I going to meet a tall, dark, handsome stranger and win the lottery? So
I'm first to that. That's on my list, all right? So
yeah, and Brett's just said sometimes with difficult sitters, psychic is an option, because sometimes they just shut down and you can't make those connections to loved ones. So, but it is. I think it's really nice to demonstrate both, and I'm sure you do the same as well, Bruno.
I prefer to work with basically the channeling. But for example, what you said, it's completely correct. For example, so this past Friday, when I had the 1 year celebration of the program, I had 9 guests, and basically I deliver messages to everyone. And the first one, I don't know if it is because of the name, but her name was Annabelle, and for me, the Annabelle, it's the doll, the demon doll, okay? And she was actually the demon, okay? Because I was like, okay, so there's a lady here, and there's like a vibration here. I don't know. Okay, but then I gave evidence. I don't know. And then basically they came to apologize. I don't know. But then the other ones, they got messages. There were a few spirits that came to apologize, and oh my god, yeah, I do understand. And apparently, the demon doll, I will call her now this, the demon doll were like this. What now? Now, all of the dead people came to apologize. It's this. Now everything that they do, it's apologize. No, but you have to actually decide to heal or to stay that level where you are, demon. But basically, that's what happened. So I do understand what you both are saying.
I just want to say hello to Elaine Bellinger and Dolores and Mark. Lovely to see you on here. But it's interesting because Brett yesterday doing the church service, he had this woman and he was giving such accurate information. You're in the 1970s, you're going on holiday, you're on a beach, and it's somewhere you go every year. And he was giving much more information than that. And the woman was going, no. And it is so, when you're standing there as a medium and then the person comes up to you afterwards and says, oh yeah, by the way, and I feel like saying, stop everybody, don't go anywhere, hey, she just got it. Yeah. It's so frustrating as a medium.
What I feel is like you have 5 people in front of you, and you deliver 5 messages. 4 of them they totally understand. Yeah. And that's the one that basically they don't. I'm sorry. One thing will be like we deliver 5 messages and 4 of them no, but 1 of them yes. Okay, yeah. So one of them it's the only no. Okay, so you have your problem. You are not allowing yourself to heal. So it's not the medium problem, the psychic problem. No, it's basically you don't allow yourself. Yeah, that's the thing.
It's interesting because I've just had a bad asthma week, which affects me, and it affected. And I was doing work. I was doing Brett's church on Tuesday, and then I was doing a dem on Saturday, and then the church service on Sunday. And I sat there and I said to Spirit, I really need your help today. I really need to be doing the best demonstration I could do. And I'm giving names and dates, and I never give names and dates. Yeah. And all of these things were coming out. And these people were just looking at me, how do you know that? And I was so proud of myself, but I was so proud of Spirit because they knew that I needed that extra help. Yeah. And I know they never, ever let you down. And Brett's just said it was 43 years going to the same beach, and she's still going, no. Yeah. But it is about intention, isn't it, Laurie? If you put that intention out to Spirit, they ain't going to let you down.
Oh, very true. I'm not going to pick you up now.
Oh, go on.
You just said I never get names and addresses. So right. We do that as mediums. We tell us, I can't read for that. Oh my God. If you get a fellow medium comes in and says, can I have a reading? We automatically go, eek, no. Which is us stopping those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's about confidence as well. And I personally don't want to let people down. So I'd rather get it right. But it was really weird because on Saturday Saturday, definitely I've got October the 10th. There's an anniversary. Oh, and she would go, no. Oh, yes. And it was brilliant. I was so happy with what I did. So hi, Barry, one of my students on there. So yes, go on. Tell us some more, Laurie, about that.
Well, as I say, it is our intent, and it's very interesting. Your reaction there about this no person. I'm seeing now within the mediums community a lot more, how do I describe it, self-assurance about what we do. Because pre-2020, many of us were in basically what you could call an abusive relationship with churches and centres. You will come here on that date. You will do this booking. I want 2 dates out of you next year. This is the format of the service. You're going to do the prayer, the reading, the philosophy, the healing, and I want 45 minutes evidential mediumship out of you. And actually, I'm seeing a lot of mediums now turning around just going, hang on, we're not trying to change the service format, but just bring in a little bit more balance and looking after ourselves.
Yeah.
And looking after ourselves, we are sensitive. So the minute people walk in the church door here, that is recognised. They're welcomed, offered tea, offered coffee. We've got a nice room they can sit in if they so choose. And it's looking after our mediums. I'm sure you've experienced this. I've turned up to places and stood there like a lemon for 15 minutes and you can see people going, oh, is that him? Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Brett is,
I'm going home in a minute.
Brett is just confirming that as well. And the other thing is that you go to some of these places and you get such a rubbish welcome or reception. The chairperson, I was talking about this the other day, actually. I took some students to an SMU church here. And I've got to say hello. We got Astrid and Lenny and Lorraine and Wendy and Rosa. So hello, thank you for joining us. But we went to this church and I walked in with my students. The chairperson was sitting at the front desk on her phone. We didn't get acknowledgement. We didn't get asked, do we want a cup of tea? I had to go and make tea for us myself. And it just was really, really bad. Anyway, all the way through the service, this lady was on her phone. And I made an official complaint to the church because I thought, that's not what this is about. It's supposed to be, Brett's been talking recently about, it's about community. It's about sharing and sharing in the physical as well as with the spirit. And if those people are not particularly interested in you being there, then what are we being there for? You know, what is this all about? So, and you know, when you go there and they expect you to do the opening, the closing, the address, the tie up my shoelaces because they've come undone as well, and then 45 minutes of mediumship, I think that's really, and it is rude. So we've become, and I'm saying we, Brett and I have gone to churches and said, no, we're not doing the prayers, you do those. We'll do the address and we'll do the mediumship. But then some of the churches want you to do an hour and a half plus of messages. And again, a church service, isn't that supposed to be just a snippet of everything?
Yeah. My favourite retort to the immortal line of, oh, you've got time for one more. I always like to finish my mediumship on a high because I go out then feeling high. If I've had that desperate struggle last message where it's just going horribly wrong, that is what I take with me when I walk out of the church, rightly or wrongly.
Yeah.
But if I've just got on that high and just gone, and it is within a reasonable time of the finish time, and I get the line of, oh, we've got time for just one more. And I said, well, perhaps you'd like to do it. Probably why I don't get a lot of bookings.
Yeah. Again, you know, we were doing this service, Brett and I, yesterday, and we were doing the tag team. So we did 8 messages in, I think it was 30 minutes, which I thought was pretty good. And the quality of those messages was pretty sound as well. And the church was packed. It was one of the best churches audiences I've been to. There were about 54 people in the audience, and the energy was just buzzing. It was so good. And afterwards, you could hear everybody. They'd really enjoyed it. Brett did the talk because I couldn't be bothered. But it was just so lovely. But I think people need to realise, and I know I was talking to Karen the other day, and she said that she's very disappointed in the churches at the moment. You know, they do expect blood out of a stone, and then they don't support you. They don't look after you and those sorts of things. And you think, and what really gets me is I've been doing this for 34 years. And I've spent hours and hours, blood, sweat, and tears, many tears, and money in courses and travel to be able to be a better medium. And I think when those people ask you to do everything, you know, Uncle Tom Cobley and all, they should appreciate the work and the training and the dedication that we put into the work we do.
Yeah, it's very true. We here at Paul, our services is an hour long. And a couple of mediums commented. One, bless her, we've got a very good relationship. She said, well, our service is an hour and 20 minutes. And I said, well, it's not a competition, love. You know? But everybody, you know what? People at work here go, do you know what? That just works. Because I don't do the 10 minutes for philosophy because they, and I'm going to get back to the word they, if you'll allow me, only want the messages. People, we had 50 something in yesterday, and do you know what? We were bouncing off the walls in there. It was beautiful. Everything came together. The synchronicity of the address and the music that was chosen, and it just all worked. And everybody went out uplifted, you know, because the only product our churches and centres have is to give people hope.
That's exactly right.
We do. We give people hope. And if you've got people going out of there, and again, you know, I know if my last message is a bit of a hard work one, that's what I take out with me.
Yeah.
Would you not think the congregation have the same?
Exactly. And Brett's just said the talk is extremely important because not everybody is going to get a message, but if they take something from the messages that they've heard and they listen to the talk, you know, the number of times I've sat in a church feeling really, really low, I know in the early days, and I sat there listening to the medium on platform and I thought, he's talking to me. That's all about me, you know, and it was just lovely because then I'd go out of that church feeling so uplifted.
Exactly. Sorry, what's going on today? There's Bruno talking about Annabelle the doll, and now Brett Thomas is talking about the healing demon.
Well, I met the Annabelle the doll.
Okay.
Because she was actually a demon. Are you okay? I am. Oh my God. What the I am.
Yeah. So Brett, you're going to have to clarify the human demon, the healing demon. What you mean by that?
Probably demonstration. Take a wild guess.
Probably.
Yeah. And Lenny said the length of the service should be about the quality of the service and not about the quantity of the service. Good point there, Lenny. Hello, Shawana. And always love the reading and the philosophy. Yeah, the philosophy I think is so important. Oh, Brett says his iPad's it's playing up. So yes, he apologizes. Okay. Yeah, but you're right. It's more than the message. The messages are lovely, but it's more than that, isn't it? It's watching other people receiving a message and then the look on their face when they absolutely 150% million know that it's their mum or their dad or their brother.
Yeah.
That's so important.
And something that's missing from or overlooked in our movement. Every time we engage in a service or a demonstration or healing or private sitting, it's an experience.
Yes.
It's not sit there and watch. You're not home watching Netflix. It's an experience. It's the whole package. And as I said yesterday, the energy in the church was amazing. It really was. It was so much fun. There was just coming together and it just worked. Everything worked. And everybody walked out and went, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I feel better. I feel happy in myself. I can walk out the doors now and go, come on, world, bring it on. I'm ready. You know?
Yeah. You know, you've just reminded me many years ago when I first started, I'd go to the church and you'd have the medium on platform and it would be, oh, I have this gentleman here. He tells me he's your dad and he was in a suit and shirt and tie and very stiff and starchy. And I used to think, if ever I do this work, I will do it with fun and laughter and make people feel relaxed because it's not stiff and starchy and it's not we're talking to dead people and it's, oh, it's a bit spooky. It's the most wonderful and natural thing in the world.
Yeah, definitely. Bruno, come on. I feel like I've been talking over you a lot, Bruno, so say something.
No, I totally hear the immigration department totally approves what you're talking about because it's not because we speak with the dead people that basically the messages need to be so sad and Laurie, your grandma is here. No, it's not like this. She was funny.
And the worst thing when people get the pain at the end,
exactly.
You just think no.
I love that. And for example, I travel to do like group demonstrations. I go to a place on Lisbon south side, so across the river, and basically there's a lady there because it's at her place that she's a medium as well, but she doesn't do it. And the thing is, while I'm working. And because how much time do we have? 2 hours. Okay, so I will do the 2 hours then, and then it's about almost finishing. She's like, "You still have 2 people here to talk." Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, you still have two people here to talk. Yeah, but it's you who see them, not me. You went to your frequency, not mine. So, so vibration. So you talk if you want. You talk, okay? And I don't like that because looks like. By the way, Val, you still have people here to talk. No, I'm
yeah.
doing my job. No, but this type of comments
Oh,
looks like
yeah.
you're not doing your job properly.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if they're not mediums themselves. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's a bit rubbish, isn't it? So, hello, Rish, and thank you for your comment. And Brett just said, are there any spiritual churches in Portugal?
Huh. Okay, that's I don't believe it.
Mm.
There are spiritual church. We have a lot of what's the name? We have a lot of kind of spiritual churches, but they only follow the Allan Kardec books and okay,
Ah.
but it's only like this. For example, I went one. Oh my god, I went one time to one to the spiritual centers. I went to one spiritual center because the circle that I was in finished. So okay, so I want to find something, and then I found out that near the place where I live, it was there's a spiritual center. Okay, let's go. In the moment that I decide to stop to have a coffee, to drink a coffee, then Spirit says, take water. What? Yeah, take something for you to drink. Okay. I'll buy a water. Okay, a water bottle. Okay, no worries. I arrived there to the spiritual center. I hear Spirit saying, "Be careful," and I was like, okay, this will be fun. This will be fun. So basically, I arrived there, and then they start talking, and then this was like a huge horror movie. They had a room where there's a video of Allan Kardec being played, like black and white, full of flesh, and basically looks like people were like this. What?
Oh.
And I was like, what the hell what the hell? And then me and the owner of the spiritual center, we sat, and it was me, a friend, and him. And then he was like 20 minutes speaking with my friend. So why are you here? So why would you be here? And what you learn and blah 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 blah. And I was quiet. And then my friend was like, okay, but
That would have been hard.
and then I was like, okay, so me and Bruno, we are here, but like separate, different reasons. Okay, Bruno, so why are you here? And I said, well, I'm here because I do this and I want to learn. And then his face changed. When the moment that I said I do this, he was like, and then I said, "Oh, because I was in a spiritual center, in a spiritual circle, and I was about to learn." And he was like, and then he starts to shout to say that um, God gave us this capacity or ability to connect, and we shouldn't get paid for this. Okay,
Oh,
and even and you go and then I spoke about my mentor, my aunt. Oh, and she's a liar. I know her from the television. She's a liar, and she this and this and this and this. And I was like, well, she's my mentor. I'm sorry. It was my opinion. I'm sorry. Well, no one asked you, Patrice. No one asked you, but okay, thank you, Patrice. And then he continues to shout out and basically to say that mediums, we shouldn't work, we shouldn't be allowed to work, we shouldn't be allowed to receive money for this, okay? And everything
yeah.
that we do, it's not healthy and in a healing way. And I'm sorry, but that's completely wrong. And then they told me about they have the pass. What's the pass? Pass, it's Reiki. We go to a room and then basically we put our hands in each other. It's called the pass. Well, it's not the pass. That's Reiki, but apparently you can't say Reiki because it's too commercial, and those spirit centers they don't allow this. So
Mm.
yeah, and my theory it's like this: the three of us and the ones who are watching, we can connect with spirit. It's okay. We, each and everyone can do this. We just need to develop. And the
Mm.
thing is, God gave us gave the cooker or the chef the ability to mix ingredients. Okay, to
Yeah.
do like okay. So basically, the God gave the teacher capacity to take care of people and guide them. So God gave us this. So why can't we work with this?
Yeah. And it's sad that there are still people with that attitude. Actually, Bruno,
Yeah,
people say to me, "Oh, it's a gift. You shouldn't be charging people. You should do it for free." So you will open your fridge and say, "Well, how am I going to live?" You
yeah,
still need to put food in your belly.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really wrong. So
Well, there's a lady here. Her name is Alexandra. Um, I reached her when I was living in on the island. But the thing was, what I feel is like we light workers, we need to be humble. We like, okay, I get paid for what I do, but amount of money that I get, it's not for me to go live my fulfill life. No, it's for me to survive, for me to be okay. Done.
yeah.
Because I'm dedicating my life to others.
Mm.
There's someone here in Portugal that when you reach her and it's like, oh my God, I need help. She said like this. She says something like this. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Come to our group. It's just £1,000.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
1,000 who? Who? Do you know
Yeah.
the minimum wage in Portugal? A homeless, it's richer. Like,
Yeah.
1,000. Where's the humbleness about
I
this?
know, I know. Do you know, and I want to say hello to Eva and Leanne, and thank you for the comment, Leanne, about my teaching. She says, I'm a great teacher. Uh, but many years ago, when I first started, I was invited to a bereavement group for people who lost a child. And it didn't matter whether you were 80 and lost a child or 20 and lost a child. Losing a child is absolutely
Yeah.
devastating. And I went to this group and I was hearing stories like you've just said there, Bruno. And somebody would say, and this is in the 90s, so £350 then was a lot of money. And, oh, you give us £350 and we'll connect you to your child. If you give us another £350, we'll get more information from them. Oh, I was so embarrassed by the whole thing. I could never go back again. It was just shockingly disgusting that people are so but when you've lost a loved one, you are vulnerable and you do
Yeah.
want to know that they're okay, and those people are preying on that vulnerability, and
and
I
and
think
and the
it's
thing
wrong.
about the money, it's not the amount of money. I feel it's like the commitment, because you can. I already went to. I think I already spoke about this our last live. It was the fact that I went to many open circles, and basically there are people smoking, there are people drinking, there are people sleeping, there are people snoring, there are people shouting, and the messages, it were always the same, and people don't give a
Mm,
damn.
no.
Okay. And what I feel is like, if the spirit says the same message 2, 3, 4 times, it's because someone is not listening.
Mm,
And when you pay the amount of money, whatever, but when you pay, you
mm,
are committing. And it's
mm.
like, okay, so I'm committing to basically for you to tell me the any message, and people actually understand that.
Well,
But
I
that,
was told many years ago when I was at the Arthur Findlay College, because I can't charge. And I had a great teacher. It was actually Simone Key, and I've got a lot of respect for her. And she said to me, if you don't have a value to your service, there is no value to your service. And
exactly.
she said that if you call the plumber out, you have to pay a call out charge and then you pay for the job. And that's exactly it. We're providing a service for people. So, and I've always remembered that, and I will never forget what she said at that time, and it made me feel so much better about what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there were another lady here. I think it's from a Dutch lady that she lives between. It's kind of poetic. She lives between LA and Lisbon. Okay. And apparently her readings, it's like 45 minutes on the phone, $900.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
It's okay, no worries, because everyone has everyone has a price. It's okay, no
Mm,
worries. I think
mm,
basically everyone needs to be a little bit more humble. When
Yeah.
if you work with spirits, if you work with people, you need to be humbled.
And I think that's where we come in. I mean, we're coming over, or I'm coming over and joining all of you over there in
Yeah.
Portugal and in the UK. I'm working with the lovely Karen and Jenny and Neil and Laurie, yourself and Bruno, and people who I totally respect. And we're all on the same page. We all believe the same thing. We all do the same thing for the same reason. And I think that is important. So, for me, the excitement is building now, and yeah, I can't wait to get there. But do you know what I've realized? I was looking at my schedule. I've got, yes, I'm coming to Bruno, and then I'm going to Laurie, and I'm going to do some reading. I haven't given myself any time in between to travel to these places.
You have you have 2 extra days here.
I
That
do
basically
actually.
you
Yes,
can
I
rest
do.
and we can take a walk and travel. It's okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. But it was funny because somebody was saying, "Oh, Jenny's been asking me for more dates," and I'm thinking, where am I going to squeeze all this in, and how am I going to get from Poole to Paynton and Paynton to Red Hill? And oh my goodness me! But anyway, I will do it.
That's the
I'll
good
do it.
part about doing a tour, is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Victoria, people value your service more if they pay for it. A
Yeah.
service fee may more likely attract those who take your work seriously. That's very true, actually, Victoria. Thank you for that comment. Yes. So okay. So what have we got in store? I'm coming to Bruno and doing 2 shows,
Mm-hmm.
and those, one with you and one on my own, I believe, if I'm
Yeah.
right, which is going to be
I'll be there.
exciting.
I'll be there translating.
Yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
then, Laurie, we're doing, as you said at the beginning, we're doing, Karen and I are doing a psychic and a mediumship readings, workshop separately.
You're starting off both taking private sittings.
Yep.
Then on the Saturday, you'll be running a mediumship. Hark at me, I'm just saying about churches not listening to the mediums, and here I am telling you what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So on the Saturday, there'll be 2 workshops running because we can split the church between yourself and Karen. You've got Saturday night off, apart from doing the live Lyceum night. Sunday morning service, 11 to 12, which is always a joy. And then Sunday evening, you 2 wonderful ladies are doing a demonstration of mediumship.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've told Karen we've got to pack our paintbrushes just in case.
No, you're fine. We're all up to date on the decorating. Thank you.
Oh, all right. That's a good phew. Phew. Okay, but we're looking forward to meeting all the people there, and I know we're going to have a fantastic time. And you said about working with fun and working with laughter and making people feel happy. That is so important within the whether it's a demonstration of mediumship or whether it's a church service. Let people go out and go, wow, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that's really
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
I had the group demonstration 2 weeks ago. It was a very lovely group, and I delivered messages, and it was one who touched my heart because I saw a tiny kid running around there, and first of all, I was like, okay, but do you want to talk with your mom? Not yet, not yet. Let my grandpa talk. I will talk later. Okay, so the grandpa talked. The grandpa spoke, and then he was his time. And what happened was the mom had like a miscarriage because she couldn't. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of healthy problems with the kid and with the husband. So she decided to do that, and basically, and she couldn't. No one knew about it, and and from that moment that she basically she okay, I'm not enough. I'm a terrible mom. I'm this. I'm this. I'm this. So she
Mm.
okay, not healthy at all. And when the kid appears to say, "I'm fine, and I'm always here, and I'm the one who steals your hearings every time that you want to leave the house," the mom cried a lot, and I got teared up as well. But in the end, there was a lady that said, "I didn't have any message for me, but I got so many messages from the others to myself, and that for me
Yeah.
I think that's the main goal. Every time that someone goes to a group demonstration or something, it's like, okay, so who's coming to me? No, it's not like this. It's like, what's going to happen? It's like the correct mindset is what's going to appear, what am I going to feel? So I think that that's the healthier part. And I'm sorry for my English, but it's morning. It's 11 a.m.
We don't care.
It's better
Wendy's
than
just made.
Portuguese.
What was that?
Say
What
again.
was that, Laurie?
It's much better than our Portuguese, so don't knock us.
What? Yeah, actually, when I was in the UK,
Yeah.
when I was living in the UK, people were like, Portuguese pork and cheese. And I was like, explain Portuguese pork and cheese. Okay, okay, it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, no, people are rude. But
Yeah.
Wendy's just made a comment. We do what we do because of the love of mediumship, which is very true. And people should understand that your work, your travel, and your devoted time is precious. When you serve the churches, I imagine your fee does not cover all of this. Absolutely, the churches, you're lucky to get. Oh gosh, this really bugs me. I went to one church. I traveled an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, an hour and a half service, and however long it took me to prepare to go. And they gave me a 1-inch crystal angel. And I know I should be grateful, but I was offended.
Yeah.
I was offended that was given to me. I'd rather have had nothing than be given something like that. So, maybe that's me just being awful, but,
No,
it is what it.
not at all.
You agree? You agree, Laurie?
There's a lovely comment there from Susan Brothwood Hughes over in Dublin. She's saying, no professional gives their ability without an exchange of some kind. It is not a gift. It is an ability, and they have trained hard with time and money. And that is so true.
Very, very true.
You also brought in a very pertinent point there. An hour and a half there, hour and a half back. That's 3 hours already.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do understand that churches are struggling for finances. I really get that. However, every workman is worth his fare. If you've got somebody coming to your church, there's a traveling time, say 2 hours. 2 hours in the church, 2 hours there, 2 hours. That's 6 hours. And you will get instances where people will say, here's £10, thank you very much. Well, number one, that doesn't cover the petrol in the slightest.
Yeah.
Number two, £10 for 6 hours of your time.
Terrible.
Is not even the minimum wage. Absolutely.
And the other thing that used to get me and still gets me is when people do give you an envelope with money and they give it behind their back. And exactly. It's like, oh, it's a bit of a dodgy deal going on here. And I just think that is, be honest and be open. You're paying for our service. So, yeah. Anyway.
And also, churches and centres, when they're dealing and booking mediums for services and events, the money side should be sorted out then, so there is no misunderstanding.
That's exactly right. And Brett's just made a point here. The tolls in Sydney, if you come and do a church from where Brett lives to a church south of Sydney, you could be paying $18 just in toll charges. And sometimes it's $18 one way. It's really expensive. And they don't take that into consideration. And when I've actually raised that, they say, oh, no, we've never paid expenses. We're never going to pay expenses. And you think, well, I'm not coming back to your church.
Yeah.
So,
I'm doing a talk on Saturday night with Sandra Mitchell-Therius, one of our Lyceum nights. And part of the topic is, how is the ULEZ scheme in the UK going to affect churches in London? Because that's going to have a massive impact.
Oh, with the tolls around London.
£12.50. So the people that run churches are volunteers, so they're going to have to pay £12.50 to go and do voluntary work.
Yeah.
The mediums are going to incur that extra expenditure, and for the best will in the world, they're not going to subsidise themselves.
I love those places.
Congregation are going to have to pay that as well. Yeah. So you can cut your congregation in half.
Well, Karen was just laughing a couple of months ago, actually, we were talking about this. And she said, I always get lost going to the churches, so I'll pay about 4 times £12.50. And, it's possible. It is possible. So anyway, Yes.
I love those places because teach us about our self-love, self-respect, and
Mm.
how to remain humble. Come
Oh,
here. You're going to travel. You're going to lose your money. You're going to lose your time. Or lose time. Come here and spend. No, no. I'm sorry. I deserve more. I deserve better, and I deserve
yeah.
respect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I'm coming to the UK and I'm going to get the best treatment from everybody and the best response from everybody. And you know, working with Jenny and Karen and you, Laurie, and Bruno and Neil, it's going to be so much fun. And I know, bless her, Jenny's going through it at the moment. She's had ill health in the family. She's got more ill health in the family. But I've never seen anybody so dedicated to the work, and she's still out there treading the boards, doing it every single day. And I think that's amazing, because most people would just crumple in a ball and, you know, not want to go anywhere, but she still keeps going. So I've got a lot of respect for Jen. So, and I'm also excited because I'm going down to Paignton Church. Now, I didn't realize that my cousin is actually the booking secretary for Paignton Church. And I can't remember who it was got in touch with who, but anyway, I'm going to do a workshop and a dem down there as well. And I've never been on my home turf, which is Wales. And Karen and I are actually going to Caerphilly, you know, where the cheese comes from.
Mhm.
And we're going to be doing a demonstration of mediumship in the town centre, in the community centre. And that's on the 6th of September. And if anybody is interested in any of the things that I'm talking about, let me just put my website details up, because all my events are on my website. So there's a lot of them. So it's going to be great. So Paignton, Poole, Wales, Gosport in Hampshire, the Harlequin Theatre. Now, I used to do the Harlequin Theatre myself when I was living there, and I used to just take the room where you had 100 people, and I used to sell out all the time. And we decided that the four of us are going to do it, but we've actually decided to book the main auditorium. So if anybody wants tickets, go and get them. And you're going to be really blown away by the fact that there is four pretty decent international mediums that are going to be working at the Harlequin. Yeah, it is in Red Hill, yes, and that would be lovely. I'm looking forward to Paignton. I'm looking forward to everything in the UK. I'm not looking forward to the travel, although, as is normal with me, by the time I get to the UK, this month is going to be crazy mad. So by the time I get on the plane, I'm going to sleep for 24 hours. So when I get there, I'll have some energy to do whatever it is I've got to do. But yes, it's been lovely having everybody on here as well. If anybody's got any more questions, please let us know. And I wanted to quickly ask you, Laurie, I know it's at the end, but how did you get into spiritualism? Because I didn't ask that.
My mother was excuse me, somebody needs reassurance at the moment. My mother started attending a spiritualist church. She was a night nurse. Excuse me. We don't see that much of you, darling. She was a night nurse and started attending a spiritualist church. Ended up becoming involved with the committee of the church. I was at that age where we're not left alone on our own, not because we're too young, just because we don't know what we're going to get up to. I don't know what I was going to get up to, but I never got up to it. So anyway.
I don't believe you.
So yeah, I was very fortunate to be introduced from a very early age until I was 17. So between 11 and 17. And I was sat in circle with some of what we call the old school mediums.
Yes.
Frightened the living daylights out of you.
Yeah.
But were good teachers.
Yes.
Then I went away, lived a life, moved around, worked abroad, blah, blah, blah. And ended up coming back down to Poole when my mum and dad were getting to the age where an extra pair of hands. They were running the church at that time. They passed very quickly close together. I stayed on as treasurer, and we had different committees. And then, as happens in churches, for wherever you are in the world, there was the inevitable great big row and Barney, and you want to find if you want to find an unspiritual person, go to a spiritualist church at times. Yeah. And I ended up the only person who remained. So it was just sort of like, oh, okay.
and you're still here to tell the tale, which is wonderful.
Well, obviously, when you look at the greater plan and scheme of things, without being, what's the word, self-praising or whatever,
yeah,
I think I've done a pretty good job with the church.
Yeah, I think you do, because whenever you see anything to do with your church, it's always laughter, it's always happy, it's always, I caught something of your live the other day. Oh, excuse me, before you were actually starting the service, and all I could hear was this raucous laughter, and I thought, that's it. I'm really looking forward to coming. It'll be great.
The community in the church is amazing, and I always acknowledge that as well. Because people have forgotten this, and it's so important in our movement. It is so important. I've got the very great privilege of taking a funeral service this Friday, and the family said, "Oh, sorry, we don't come all the time." I said, "Do you know what, love? It doesn't matter. No. The church is always there. You come when you need it, and to me, that's the church. You come when you need it. I'm not going to get funny because you don't attend all the time or treat you differently. The church is there for when people need it. Some come a lot, some come when they need it.
That's exactly.
It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a lovely attitude to have as well. And Jenny, lovely to see you. Know you've had some ill health. You've been in my healing book, by the way. And if anybody is interested and wants to put their name on a healing list, I have a healing book here, which I keep. And I put names in them. So if anybody's got healing requests, let me know. And Wendy, yes, Red Hill is in Surrey. So it's junction 8 of the M25 or thereabouts. Is it 8 or 7? I can't remember. Anyway, and Mark has just said he wrestles with self-belief. I do work and give messages and people take info, though I still feel I'm holding myself back. And I think we're all in that situation, aren't we? I know I am sometimes, or have been. But do you know what? It was really funny because a couple of years ago, I realized that I was sort of hesitating a lot. And I went, do you know what, guys? Whatever you give me, I'm going to deal with. Just bring it on. And I challenged spirit. And I think that was the best thing I ever did, because it made a big difference to my confidence and to my mediumship as well. So Lenny has just said there's plenty of unspiritualist churches here in Australia. Yes, there are, which is a bit sad. Independent centres succeed due to no committees, says Brett. I agree. Yes, because there's too much in-house, as you've already said, Laurie. Eva says you're brilliant, Laurie. So you've got a fan team here.
Thank you, Eva. The check's in the post, darling.
Yeah, and the guests today are Bruno Monteiro from Portugal, and Laurie Saville from Poole in Dorset, and me, Val Hood, in Sydney, in Australia.
You are your own guest.
I am my own guest. So Amanda Price, I can't comment on other churches as not being. But look, as long as your church is good and you get out of it what makes you feel good, then I think that's really, really important. So okay, so I'm going to try and do another one of these with you guys, and maybe we'll get Jenny and Neil and Karen on again before I leave. So just to remind people that Australia is coming to England. I'm excited. And all that work, I can't believe there's so much work. But isn't it lovely to know that you're valued and respected? And I know you said the other day, Laurie, that you wouldn't be inviting Karen and I if you didn't think we were any good. And that made me feel really, really, quite chuffed. Thank you.
seriously. And again, not blowing my own trumpet. I look for demonstrators here at Poole who can do what I call can do the job.
Yeah.
They can provide an uplifting address. They can provide the prayer, the very presence, and of course the evidential demonstration.
Yeah.
And it works because,
Yeah.
again, please, I am not egotistical.
No, I know that.
The odd in here yesterday. I'll be doing a service in a couple of weeks' time, and I'll be very lucky if we hit 8. There are so many places just devoid of life and unable or unwilling to move forward, to bring things up to date a bit, to bring in that community, everything.
It's interesting because we're seeing that here as well. If you've got a church where the committee or the people who are supporting the church and running the church are doing it with that love and that genuine love from their own heart, then the church survives and grows. Whereas if it's not, and it's done with ego and negativity, then there's only 6 to 9 people on seats, and it's such a shame, because you can't run a service with 6 to 8 people, because you need the funds to be able to pay all the the maintenance costs and the rent and the water rates and things like that. So yeah, but I think people are silly because they're sort of cutting their nose off to spite their faces, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think we'll see the rise more and more of the virtual church, because again, as life gets tougher, money gets more tighter.
Yes.
We're very much in the infancy of the virtual church. I'm seeing some wonderful things happening out there.
Yeah.
And similarly, I'm seeing some things and thinking, what the was that?
Yes, yes, and do you know what? This happened in oh gosh, we keep going. This happened in COVID. Everybody and their uncle was doing online something or others, and the standard of what was being put out there was really quite shocking. And they were doing it every day, or every week, and they were getting anybody to do the services. And I must admit, myself, I felt that I was being used and abused. So I actually stopped doing it, because I did so much for free. And as we've already said, who's going to put the food on my table? I needed to have some money coming in because I don't have another source of income. And I thought, I'm just being abused. And they wanted you to do a demonstration and a church service. And can you do reading? And I just went, no, I'm not doing it. So I'm glad to see that it's not as much, but I'm not sure, because I don't go online to have a look anymore. I used to, but I got really, it burnt me out. Not I got burnt out, but it burnt me out.
Yeah, that is very true. And again, you hit on a key point there. We're doing that for free, and again, we're seeing the same level of abuse as we do in the physical church. I was invited to do something, and the format was, I do a quick introduction, then you do the next 2 hours of mediumship. And I said, well, you can jog on, mate, because I wouldn't even do 2 hours in person. But there is so much potential. Zoom is a mighty, mighty powerful tool.
It is incredible.
And it's been
I still remember when I met Val, because Val woke up at 5 a.m. Australian time. She knows this. She woke up at 5 a.m. to do a British church service, online church service. It was more or less 40 people there or more.
Yeah.
And then she was delivering a message to someone. And then there were people shouting, saying, "Hey, can you bring?" In the middle of the message, middle of the message, there was a moment that basically Val was delivering a message to a lady. Someone decided to unmute herself to say, "Hey, I think that's for me." Sorry, I think that's for me. No, it's not. No, I think it is. No, it's not. Okay.
Or somebody would be standing there doing their ironing or dusting all their ornaments. Oh my goodness!
And it was, she woke up at 5 a.m. or no, she started working at 5 a.m. So that means that she had to wake up way before.
Yeah.
And probably not get paid or enough for
No,
that.
nothing. I would have got nothing for it. But Brett's just said the online services need to reflect a physical service, and I totally get that,
Yeah.
with the respect and the boundaries that need to be set. So
Exactly.
again, when we were doing on online things during COVID, there'd be somebody with their bowl of cereal, shovel it in
Or
their mouth.
smoking.
Yeah, smoking on the phone. They'd have
Yeah.
themselves on mute and they'd be on the phone.
And
it
come
was
on.
You can
Who
see,
never?
this is my favourite one. You can see them watching the television.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Again, with Zoom, we have that ability to put people back in the waiting room. And this is something sometimes. Look out! You started me, Val. You're not going there yet. Like, when we run churches or centres, you know what? We've got to be a bit brave and not run away from conflict, not run away from problems, or I manage my energies in my church very well. If there's any discourse, I will go in there and go, "What's going on? What is occurring?" The same with the online, where I was hosting a Zoom demonstration for somebody, and I put 3 people in the waiting room. Well, I got barracked something horrible by the person whose room it was, and I said, "There's one. She would lie there and kept wiggling. Any minute now, something was going to pop out." And it's sort of like, "Well, hey, even if I was that inclined, love." And the other one was smoking. The other one was watching telly. Just do it.
And it's annoying because all they're doing is they're listening with half an ear in case they get a message. That's all they were doing it for, and it's just wrong.
Because
but
what they feel, it's like they feel that, I'm at home, so I can do whatever I want because I smoke at home. Okay, but in the moment that you join this, you are not anymore like at home. You are in our church or come on, and those people that we join them. To the loo.
But if we go to a church, I mean, Laurie, you wouldn't allow somebody to come in with their breakfast cereal or to smoke a fag in the back corner, would you?
So this is what... share it.
I would share a cereal.
Yeah. And Brett has just said the other thing, if there was no camera, we used to say to people, put your cameras on, please. And if they didn't put their camera on, we would switch them off. Because again, that is disrespectful. Jenny Doherty had a thing when the lockdowns were on, and she was doing a service, and somebody had their camera off, and all of a sudden the camera clicked back on, and they were actually at it. She said she couldn't believe her eyes, but how rude of people. This is supposed to be a sacrosanct, I would say sacrosanct, if that's the right word, thing that we do.
And if you can't be sacred, then don't come. It's really not difficult.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, look, we'll do another one before I leave. And gosh, the countdown's happening and it's exciting. So anybody need any healing, send me the name. So my web address is up there and my email address as well. So please email me. If anybody's interested in any of the venues that we will be working at. So it's Caerphilly in South Wales. It's Poole in Dorset. It's Paignton in Devon. It's Lisbon in Portugal, and Hampshire and Surrey. And I've only got 5 readings left in my Surrey block. So if anybody's interested in that, you need to get in quick because I've only got 5 left, and I'm about to send a newsletter out, and that'll just go, that last one's. So hang on. Eva says, I once saw a person having their bath at the same time. Oh my goodness me. Remind me, Brett, when I come to your church next time, I'll bring my portable bathtub.
And by the way, Val, bring your book.
I've got books being delivered to the UK. So yes, that's all good.
Bring your book. Yeah.
Do you know, somebody I saw the other day is coming to a workshop, and she said, I read your book twice. And she said, it's made such a difference to my mediumship, just reading your book. And somebody said, I laughed and I've cried all the way through it, with the stories. And I think that is really lovely. And people have said, sounds like you talking to us. So yeah, it's really nice. So I'll bring my books, don't worry. And yes, we better go. So thank you guys for coming on here. Brett says he's going to chair the service from his spa.
Yeah, maybe we could do like a spa group demonstration or something like that.
That'd be fun. all splashing around in the pool or something. Yeah. But anyway, fantastic and great topics covered. I know some of the topics we've covered before, but I think they need to be brought up every now and again, though, because people forget what we have to go through to actually do what we do for people. And
people are not aware. People are not aware.
No,
they only think that we arrive there, speak with dead people, and bye bye. No, the dead people, they are the nicest people. Okay, because sometimes they interrupt me when we are alone. But the thing is, people need to learn about this, and people and thanks to you, Val. I decided to do rules. I set a set of rules for the group demonstrations. Because people didn't know about it.
Yeah. And I've done the same for students who start doing demonstrations. We've actually created a group of rules or a list of rules that the host has to abide by, but so does the audience. And for me, one of them is no alcohol. Because then you end up with horrible situations, and I've experienced them, and I don't want anybody to experience those. So, so somebody's just come on, only just Susan Townsend. Lovely to see you. Lorraine, I did say hello earlier on, but it's so good to see you. I actually saw Lorraine when I did my camper van trip recently. It was really beautiful. And Victoria said, thank you. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And thank you for participating. And thank you, Laurie and Bruno, as always, for your wonderful inputs. And Brett, of course, he was chipping away in the background there. But you may get to, Laurie, you may get to meet Brett in person, depending on what he's doing and where he is. Bruno will get to meet him in person, which is lovely.
Well, what he's been saying, I think I'll get on well with him.
Oh, I know you will. I know you will. He's one of a kind and one of the best.
Yeah, I want to join the Brett fan club.
I'll have to make some badges. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And we'll see you very soon. I will notify you when the next one comes out, but it'll definitely be before I leave, which is the 1st of September. So I'll try and get one done in the next week or so. And if you've got any questions you want answered, let us know, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay. Thank you.